Today, I want to talk about how the FTX synthetic AMC shares have now been proven as fact by Dissolution on Twitter. I want to talk about what that means for AMC now these FTX synthetics have been proven as credible and what legal action can be taken against them. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, Dissolution has tweeted saying I've located the OTC derivatives for the securities in question, along with the revisional paperwork to said tokenized securities. He said the most interesting aspects are the bridging and swapping from FTX to outside brokers that can convert from tokenized shares to actual common shares. Basically meaning these market makers could have bought tokenized shares or tokenized securities on FTX, swapped them for real shares in AMC, aka IOUs, and sold them through outside brokerages. AKA just yet another way to flood the market with synthetic AMC shares where they've technically located real tokenized shares in return. But obviously locating real tokenized shares is completely different to locating actual AMC common shares and is simply a false locate. Dissolution followed up by saying keep in mind if shorts were to vacate positions, it would cause the equity market to have an off-rail share values that should fall in line with current fundamentals. He said that would further degrade the quality of price signals, reducing the efficiency of the market structure. And that's why when the DTCC announces substantial risk exposure on concurrent stocks trending on the same algorithm, the collateral is raised and some brokers restrict trade agreements set forth. Basically saying if the shorts were to close out of their positions, it would cause the AMC squeeze and massively change these share values. That would obviously expose the DTCC to a massive amount of risk exposure, causing those brokers to effectively turn off the buy button. And he said we're being suppressed from the clearing firms, the DTCC, the SEC and the government negotiators as a whole. He said they are few and we are many. Therefore the game is being allowed to continue among these big, larger hedge funds. He said he'll be releasing his findings in the coming days regarding the exposure agreements and revisions that he talked about in his first tweet, but Samuel Clements reckons that he's found the agreements already. This document talks about the issuance of tokenized securities of backed assets GmbH or backed assets LLC. So this document shows a fairly complex chart of the issuer that's issuing these tokenized securities, the tokenizer that's actually tokenizing them, and obviously the issuer issues these tokenized securities to both professional investors and to retail investors, either directly or through the authorized participants. Now obviously over here we have the custodian that should be holding those real AMC shares backed on a 1-to-1 ratio, but obviously we know that this part was absolute rubbish. And it says here that tokenization is understood to mean the legal linking of a transferable, obligatory or real legal position with a token, on the basis of which this legal position can be asserted and transferred exclusively by the person entitled to the token over the distributed ledger or blockchain. Basically suggesting that these tokenized securities and real shares were effectively swapped back and forth between tokens and real legal positions. And Dissolution also added saying FYI, let it be known that Sam Bankman-Fried announced Index WSB or the Wall Street Bets tokenized basket which you could purchase under the ticker WSB-0326. Now this ticker WSB-0326 is effectively that over-the-counter derivative that these hedge funds could purchase to exchange for real AMC shares that they could short into the market. And he said all of these securities were on the exact same algorithms and all have been suppressed from a squeeze. Obviously we know that since FTX has gone bankrupt, this tokenized basket that could be purchased is no longer purchasable. But obviously it still proves there is a massive amount of lasting damage that was not only caused to AMC, but also caused to Nokia, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, GameStop and many other stocks. But I think that also really links in the proof of the meme stock basket theory, basically saying that when one meme stock squeezes, all of the meme stocks will squeeze. And guys, be sure to join me over on Moomoo, the sponsor of today's video, using the link in the description below. You can currently get up to 17 free stocks, entirely commission-free trading, free level 2 market data, and Moomoo is very easy to use and has a very simple UI. They've also got tons of technical indicators and advanced charting tools. And with Moomoo, they've also got free 24/7 customer support, and with Moomoo, you can even trade around the clock. And as James Rowland tweeted, he said sometimes before a meme basket run, one of them will run first, which breaks the dam on all of the others. He said, I don't know if it will happen this time, but he said he'll be very excited if it does. He said they are such incredible opportunities when taken advantage of. Basically saying that AMC may not even trigger the squeeze. It could be Bed Bath & Beyond or GameStop or any of the other meme stocks, but when they squeeze first, the entire basket will squeeze, including AMC. But as Matthew Goldstein also suggested, he said with all that campaign cash that Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX were throwing around DC, he said it does make you wonder, what would have happened if the crypto exchange hadn't collapsed amid allegations of massive fraud? Basically saying that if FTX never went bankrupt, those FTX synthetics could have been continued to be abused by these hedge funds, continuing to use them to indirectly short AMC without locating real shares. And as Dennis Keller tweeted, he said there's a big untold story here. He said Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX were very close to pulling off their scam and getting away with it too, due to help from the CFTC and Senate members. And he said, I guess that's what $100 million or so in campaign funding or lobbying actually buys you. He said effectively it's pure luck that it didn't happen. Basically saying that considering FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried and likely many of these hedge funds too have been paying off the SEC for some time now, that's obviously why they can continue to manipulate AMC and GameStop. And effectively without FTX collapsing, which effectively collapsed on pure luck, this would still be going on. But now these OTC derivatives have been located, I think that's brilliant news, and it also means that AMC can take legal action. Now on that same topic, something else that AMC can also take legal action on is the fact that AMC has been on this threshold securities list now for 17 days straight. Now Ape of Arabia is actually taking some direct action by tweeting at AMC, Adam Aron and a number of other accounts, saying the rules are clear in regards to stocks being on the threshold list for more than 13 consecutive days. He said we've been on the list now for 17 consecutive days in total. And he's effectively asking Adam Aron and AMC what is your next move and that we need a public statement. And he's also gone one further, not just to tweet about it on Twitter, but to also send an email directly to John Merriweather. He said, my Ape family, it's okay to ask questions because it's your money and you have the right to do so. He said, just please do it the right way and be respectful. Now he's tweeted at John Merriweather saying, Dear Mr. John, I hope you're well. He said, I've been watching AMC stock being on the NYSE threshold securities list for 17 days now. He said the stock market rules are clear that once a stock is on the threshold list for over 13 consecutive days, all of the stock's FTDs or failure to delivers should be bought in the open market by whoever created them as soon as possible. And he asks, therefore, I'd like to know what is AMC Board of Directors and legal team's thoughts on this and what will be done to solve the issue. Hopefully John Merriweather replies to this email or makes a public statement, or Adam Aron makes a public statement on exactly what AMC is doing with this threshold securities list. And also now that these FTX tokenized synthetic shares have also been proven as credible, Adam Aron should also really be taking legal action on those as well, especially if Dissolution reveals the exact legal agreements that have been put in place to facilitate these FTX tokenized synthetics. And while I'm at it, I also wanted to quickly touch on just how AMC ended up on this threshold securities list over the last few weeks. You can see now the full FTD data has been released for January. We haven't quite yet got the first few weeks of February, but this is the January data. And we can see that for every single day through the entire month of January, AMC has racked in an incredible amount of failed delivers. Previously, you may have just seen 1 or 2 days in a month where we exceeded 1 or 2 million FTDs, not every single day in an entire month. We can also see from this chart here the number of AMC FTDs just continue to get crazier and crazier. We're no longer having gaps where we have 0 FTDs in a day. Over the last month, we've had over 1.5 million FTDs every single day. Obviously guys, I'll be sure to make an updated video when Dissolution does release his findings, and especially if they're actually any different to Samuel Clemens' findings. But regardless, I do think it's very interesting there's actual derivative agreements to support the creation of FTX synthetics and the fact they could indeed be swapped from FTX synthetic to real AMC shares. And I also really hope this actually gives Adam Aron some credible proof that he can use to take legal action on. Because obviously this time around, if there is legal agreements that have been drawn up to support these FTX synthetics, it's not just Adam Aron speculating on synthetic illegal shares, because it's actual drawn up legal proof. But guys, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always guys, be sure to ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.